franchises do this. There are things I know about Jersey that are now just coming out, that have come out like years later, because it's this unwritten, like, we can't bring that up on camera. It's so real world, right? Like something came out on Jersey last season about someone's husband that had an affair. I knew that for like 4 years before it came to the TV. I knew it from knowing some of the Jersey Housewives, and they specifically were like, we're not going to bring this up. And then it always comes out, Kathryn, of course, but like, right.
See, I think
like,
that's bad. I mean, and granted, you go on the show knowing that whatever, skeleton you have buried could come to the surface, but I mean, a cheating husband, you're probably talking about the Jennifer girl with the plastic husband, right? I mean, that's just something that you have to assume is going to come up sooner or later when you make a big enough enemy on the show. But yeah, to me, the thing with Denise and the Brandy thing, I don't know. That's just, and maybe they weren't really that good of friends. Maybe Denise and Rinna weren't that good of friends. And Rinna, that's another one where she can just throw, the kindling on the fire and make, burn a bigger flame, and she doesn't care. Obviously, she doesn't. She doesn't care. She doesn't care if she burned the bridges with all of those women.
I mean, from where I'm sitting, I think she gets off on it. I took out Denise fucking Richards. I took out Kath. I mean, where do you go after Denise Richards? Who's bigger in the world? I mean, not Housewives, guys, because everyone's like, oh, Denise. But like, Denise Richards is like a legend. She's a Bond girl. Like, she's like, I mean, Kathy Hilton.
Not in LA. No.
She's just a B-list actress.
No, I'm not saying that. I think, but I mean, no, she's just, it's not like she didn't take out, Jennifer Lawrence or Angelina Jolie or,
Well, now she took out Kathy Hilton. I mean, she's not out, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is a different level of character as far as like the circles and all that. Yeah.
I think she gets off on it, though. I think that this is like, when you talked about the soap actress, I mean, that's the thing. Like when she's sitting there, the scene for me that just, I mean, there's a lot, but that scene in Kyle's house where she was just like, oh, Kathy, you're so bad. I'm like, there's a way to do, like, you have a black heart. You have a black heart. Like, you're just being cruel now to me. Oh. That's the way that I took it. Like, I felt real emotion between Kyle and Kathy before Rinna got there. Like, I can't even believe this is being filmed. Now, yes, it was edited a certain way to have it be extra quiet. Like, I understand the effects, but it was really like, this is real to me. To me, it was so real. And then Rinna's there. We're like, oh, Kathy.
Yeah.
Like, this is just, you need
to ask yourself, why do you have such a black heart? I mean, I was, what is she saying?
And then you look at Kathy, like, she's Kathy Hilton, sure. But, you're like, this woman is really like on the verge of tears over you. I mean, she also, I think, wants to jump across the room and strangle you. But like, this is cruel. Like, you don't need to go here. That's how I took it.
Well, I think when I watched that, because I remember you texted me and you said that it's just like they were having a real sister moment, and then she comes in. I really felt like I agreed with you. Kathy was being so real when she apologized, and she was so earnest and sincere in what she was saying. And Rinna just was not going to let it go. Like, this was her moment. She just had to drive it home, and she fell on her face with it. That's the perfect example. When someone apologizes, what do you say? You look like a bully. After someone really truthfully apologizes and you stay on them and you don't let it go, you look like a bully.
Yeah. And yes. And for me, like when Kathy left and then she was talking to herself, I'm just like, I agree with you. It is a different world where Kathy is, but like, that is even more of a reason why I felt bad for Kathy, because it's a little bit of an insulated world. Like, she isn't used to this, you know what I mean? And so that's where, to me, it was like, forget about, you just felt like as a human being, like this person is shook. Like she's shook by you, Lisa. Like I know this was your big scene, but like no one speaks. Look, I'm sure a lot of people don't speak to Lisa, but you know what I mean? I felt like Kathy's just not used to this. Like she was like really shook as like just a human. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, when Kathy said, well, you know, you've been unkind or whatever whatever she said, you've not been the nicest either. And then Rinna's like, oh, this isn't about me. You're going to go there. You're going to take it there. This isn't about me. And in light of everything that Rinna's done, that really takes some cojones for her to go after her. No one has a worse track record than Rinna.
Where she's like, I'm shook. And then, there's all the memes of like, you did this to Kim with the glass and, you're screaming at Brandy and you're doing like, right. Like, come on, girl. Like, you're not a quiet little girl from Oregon anymore who's like in over her head here. And you're so shaken. And as Kathy commented on the Behind the Velvet Rope podcast, she's like, why didn't you call 911 if you were that shook with your locked in? If you're locked in your room and you are scared for your life, I don't care who is in the other room, your husband, wife, child, you're calling 911 if you're truly afraid for your life in this situation. And B, what Kathy's like, why didn't you call my sister and say your sister is literally scaring me? Like this is borderline psychotic. Get over here. She didn't call she called Erika to gossip.
Exactly.
Did you want a paper trail to show to the screen, the producers for the new season?
Yeah.
Probably. Sure. Right. Like whether Kathy got upset and whatever, like everyone had, like to me, it's like, that's not the point really to me.
No. And I think it was Camille that said, who hasn't been pushed to the brink on this show before, and clearly Kathy was already pissed off about a number of things. I think it's hysterical that she wanted to do the what is it when they all when they
the conga line.
Yeah. I thought that was hysterical how everyone's doing this now, but honestly, to Rinna's lost her mind to make as big a deal out of it as she has. I think.
Well, you mentioned Camille. If you can't envision Denise coming back. What about Camille?
She'd be good. I just don't know if, I think they'd probably try to bring some fresh blood in.
I think, look, I agree with you. I think they need to change it up. I think Diana's clearly gone. And then maybe, to me, the reunion might have been the nail in Crystal's coffin, but I don't know. Crystal might be back, but I don't think her reunion performance helped herself.
No, I like her